Hey guys, Kid here again, bringing you another deck tech slash profile. This time I'm gonna do it on a deck pretty much a lot of people know, but thought I'd do it anyways. A Madoka. This is a green, red, blue build for the most part. It's pretty standard, so if you've seen a lot of the tournament winning Madoka decks, it's pretty close to the same thing. Maybe a little differences here and there, but yeah, so let's start off with the level 0 game. At level 0, we run 4 of the standard 3-5 Madoka beater. If there's 2 or less other magic characters on the field, it gains 1500, so it becomes 3-5. Just standard beater here. Nothing too special. It can become like 4K or 4-5 with support and stuff, which is the nice part about this card. But besides that, it's just there to run into things. Next, we have 3 Kyoko Suiciders. This is your only other real beater at level 0. Just to get rid of some things that are like pretty annoying that the 3-5 beater Madoka can't get rid of. And also there to help fill the red color requirement. Next, we run 2 Homer Brainstormers. This is pay 1, tap 2 characters, mill 4 from the top of your deck. For every climax you hit, you can search your deck for 1 magic character. Basically, you're going to be using this a lot of games, especially games where you can't get your Bonder game going and stuff like that. And this is a great way to mill out your deck faster too, to make sure you get bond targets in there for your level 0 Bonders. That'll be showing pretty soon. Besides that, this is one of the few ways you can plus hand in this deck. Next, we have 2 of these Saiga looking up to Mommy. Madoka, as a deck, as a series right now, doesn't have that many cards that can or like cards that let you ditch cards from hand. Pretty much, this is one of the few cards that does, and it's like probably one of my favorite cards in the series. So the ability is when it comes into play, you can look at the top card of your deck and then move it top or bottom. And then when this card, the second ability is when this card attacks, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a magic character, add it to hand and discard a card. Basically, you hold on to this or like use it to discard climaxes and things like that. But the top check ability combos with another card in the deck, which is this, which we run 2 of, is this Cube support. The Cube support is when it comes into play, you put the top card of your deck under this as a marker. So if you ever open up with this or have these 2 in hand, you can play this, look at the top card, make sure it's not a climax or if it's something good or whatever, and then play this card to put it under as a marker. That way it makes sure the Cube doesn't eat a climax. And then the second ability for the Cube is if you can if you're going to use change, you can use the marker underneath this as one of the stock for change, and then also it gives global 500 to magic characters. And then one of the key cards of the deck here is this Kyoko Sharing Apples Bonder. It bonds to the 1-0 Vanilla Sayaka, which is this card. And what's so great about this card is that it gives global 1k power to this to the Vanilla Sayaka. So your 1-0-5-5s are now going to be 1-0-6ks when you play them, whenever you have this like on the field, which is great. And then this is like basically your entire level 1 game right here in this deck. The whole point of the deck is basically keep playing Bonders and keep playing 1-0 Sayakas and like recycling your characters over and over again, because with the power creep coming along, Madoka as like can't like compete power wise with a lot of decks anymore, at least a lot of the really strong decks. So this is like one of the few ways it can keep up with the game, is like, you know, a hand size doesn't hurt as much because your field's always getting ran over. And then if they surprisingly can't get over like a 6-5 or whatever, you do +1, and it costs completely nothing to play the Sayaka, so it helps you compress better and keep more stock. And then the only other card in level 1 are these two 1-0 basically zombie Sayakas. They're 1065, and the ability is whenever this card gets reversed, you have to take the top card of your deck and put it to clock. So basically, you're just gonna take one every time this dies, and then +1 hand sorta, or +1 on the field. This card is like really good. It helps like keep your level 1 game pretty compressed. As you see, there's only like 6 level 1s in this deck, and then this card in combination with the Bonder for the 1-0 just create you're like an infinite level 1 game there pretty much, because you're constantly bonding back, or if need to, you can play this and this doesn't really die. You do take 1 damage for it, but that's like not really a problem, especially when you get to level 2, and you'll see why. But basically, yeah, if you're ever in a jam, you just play this and then you constantly plus hand from it. Level 2, we run one of this 2-1 Homura that lets you refresh for free. Basically, it's 2175. When this card comes into play, if you have 5 or less cards in your deck, you can reshuffle your deck, and then all your characters gain 2k. There's another ability on here that doesn't matter in this deck at all, but basically it gives 2 markers to a special 2/2 Madoka card, but we do not run it in this deck, and most decks don't run it, so you don't really ever have to worry about it. Next, for level 2, we run 3 of this level support that changes into level 3 ultimate Madoka, and that's basically it for characters as far as level 2. So your entire level 2 game is just you're gonna constantly cycle into these change and keep changing and healing at level 2, because the level 3 ultimate Madoka, when it comes into play, does heal. So this way you can keep yourself at level 2 longer and outlast your opponent. Next, we run 2 of these, I believe it's Magical Girl Appears event. It's a 2-1, salvage 2 characters, then discard a card. This is one of the only other ways to get rid of just fix your hand in this deck, and it's really good at cycling the change in this. Since the change is a draw step change, you pay 1 and put this card in the waiting room, and you switch to Ultimate Madoka. So once you do that, during your main phase, you can play this, get this back, and then cycle the change over and over again. And then the final card for a level 2 game here is this Saika's Wish event. We run 4 of it. This is probably one of the best events. Yeah, basically one of the best events, period, in Weiss. I really love this event. So what happens is it's a 2-1 counter, and whenever you can pay 1 to sacrifice a Sayaka, and then take the top card of your clock and add it to hand. So basically this card replaces itself for 1 and heals you for 1. You do lose 1 card on the field, but since it has the counter on it, so if your Sayaka is getting front attacked, for example, the 1-0 Sayaka I showed earlier, if it's getting front attacked, you just do this. You avoid taking the extra damage from it dying, and also you pick up a card, so you end up healing 1. This card is just like pretty amazing overall. And then like you can always do this pretty much, because you're always bonding back to a vanilla Sayaka, or level 3 game 2 has Sayakas also. So this is just a great card for the entire deck, and helps you outlast your opponent and stay at 2-0 longer. And it's one of the reasons why you're able to run the 1-0 Sayaka zombie. Finally, we're on to the level 3 game. We have 3 of the Ultimate Madoka, the change target to the 2-1 level support. Basically, comes into play, heals. Then it has another climax combo with Gold Bar, which we do not run in this deck, but it makes it go to memory and changes into a 3-2 Homura. But we do not run that here, and that's it. So this is basically used as your level 2 game, and just more like vanilla heals. Next, we run 4 Sayaka level 3s. This is basically played at level 3, unlike the Ultimate Madoka. But this is just a overstated beater, so the effect star comes into play, heals, which is great. Then you have, for every other magic character you have, it gains 500, so usually this is 12k base when it comes into play. And then the last ability is whenever it gets reversed, it goes to memory. But what helps like avoid this going to memory and you letting you be able to recycle this card a lot is the 2-1 event from earlier. So if you know this is getting for an attack and it's going to die, you can just sack this. It doesn't get reversed, it just goes directly to waiting room. That way you can use gates or the 2-1 red event to cycle this back out and get more heals off of it. But this is pretty tough for your opponent to deal with because it's 12k base, and usually you have a level support out, so it's 3-5, and usually it's like 3-5 to 14, which is like pretty annoying for your opponent to get over, but it does happen sometimes. And then finally we run 2 of the Homura promo that came out pretty recently. This card, when it comes into play for that turn, if it reverses something, you can pay 1 and send that thing to clock, or that character to clock. And then the second ability is tap a magic character, give it 1500. So this card's really good in Madoka, because Madoka had a really tough time being able to end games. The whole deck before was all about outlasting your opponent, staying at like 2-0 as long as you can. But like with this, it helps push it in the right direction, so you're more able to like be aggressive at level 3 and in games, and close out games easier. And then what's also nice about the second ability is that there's not a lot of things in Madoka that require you to tap things in the back row. So as long as you have a back row, this is basically always going to be 13k when you play it, or the turn you attack with it. So it's pretty annoying for your opponent to get over. And then usually in the back row again, you have the level support, so it's like 14-5, which is like really annoying for your opponent to get over too. So it can basically kill almost anything, which isn't a problem. And then, like I said, it does help in the game. But yeah, this card's great. It just kind of like changed the deck a little bit more, let it be more aggressive, which is a great thing for Madoka. And then finally, we have a book, because we like to plus hand size. And book also allows you to draw into your events more often too. Sometimes you do draw into the climax again, but that's really kind of sucks, but isn't like too game changing enough. Like the only time I like regret running book is like after refresh, when you book gate, and stuff like that is like really silly sometimes, because you're out 6 climaxes like right when you refresh, but it happens. And then finally we run 4 gates, because we just like the plus, and like gates like the best climax trigger in the game still. Alright, talk a little bit about how the deck is played. Most people for the most part should like know, since this deck's been around for a while, but basically you play your level 0 game and you do your standard stuff where you just run in beaters and stuff. And then level 1 is when this deck starts going off. So basically, you love this bonding card and you love your 1-0 Saiga. The entire point of the deck is to just compress really hard, and then when you hit level 2, just try to stay at level 2 for as long as you can, and then when need be, at level 3, you just play your big level 3 beaters, or your Saigas. So basically, your game plan is, most of the time, you kind of want to field like this for your level 1 game. So you have 1075s in the front, and then it can be really annoying for your opponent to get over 1075s, and even if they do kill it, you don't care, because it costs you nothing to do. And then if need be, like say they kill one somehow with like a level 1 suicider, you just move up Kyoko, and then play this and get it, play another bonder, get it back, and then just swing. Doesn't really matter, because these things are so huge, and then even if this dies, you still got value out of it, because you just bond back to it again anyway. Yeah, it's usually your level 1 game. Sometimes, well, actually most of the time your field might look like this, but it makes all your 107Ks. So yeah, you just sit there and just keep playing 1-0s, and you compress very, very well in this deck. And then you just do that, try to outlast your opponent. Going on to level 2. The whole point of level 2 is, where is it? Basically, your whole point of level 2 is to just change into Ultimate Madoka as many times as you can, and make your opponent sad that they can't kill you or hit you to level 3. So basically, your field's usually something like this at level 2. You want to just change as often as you can, and if they kill your Ultimate Madoka at 2, you're completely fine with that. It's one of the reasons this deck, if you notice, has no counters, because there's nothing worth saving at level 1, and there's really nothing worth saving at level 2 either. Sometimes at level 3, it's like still even whatever. Sometimes sometimes like you might wish for a counter, but still there's no reason, because if Ultimate Madoka dies, you just end up playing another. You play the level support and just change into it again. It just gives you more chances to heal and stuff. But besides that, I haven't found a reason to actually run any more counters, and the deck is already pretty tight on the number of cards it's running. But yeah, basically you're just constantly spamming this and the change, and then when you can, you always want to get your deck down to like 5 or less cards and play this to give power everywhere, and also refresh for free. Refreshing for free is pretty awesome. It's pretty much just like another heal, since you avoid that burn damage. But besides that, that's it for level 3. Like I said, you use the event to cycle back into the level times 500 support, and then whenever you can just use 2-1 the Saika Wish. Some cool things with the Saika Wish event is, for example, say you have a card in your hand that you kind of want to keep, and depending how well your opponent is, you say you want to, for some reason you clock Ultimate Madoka, but you actually wanted to keep it. But if you have a 2-1 Saika event in hand, or 2-1 Saika's Wish in hand, basically you just play your Saikas or whatever and swing with them, and then during their attack step, you just counter and kill off the Saika and pick this back up, which is great. So you should, people, if you play against Madoka decks, you should watch for that when people clock clearly cards they want to keep, but then, you know, they have a bunch of Saikas on the field you got to watch out for. Another thing to keep in mind for this event is that the card only has to have Saika in the name, so like Saika looking up to mommy, for example, can be sacrificed for it, but basically every card with Saika. And then also a cool thing about this too is that the Saika can be in the back row, so if you have a Saika in the back row, like the 1-0 zombie Saika, you just move back there because you couldn't get rid of it for a while, and then like they front attack your Ultimate Madoka or something, you can play the counter and then sack the back row character. See anything else interesting about this deck? I think that's about it. The deck, like I said, is built around just compressing and spamming heal at level 2 and trying to outlast your opponent, and then once you get pushed to level 3, you use the promo home runs to kind of end the game and use your Saika level 3 as a giant wall. Besides that, nothing too crazy or techish about this deck. It's just really standard and just really good at its job, which is heal and compress. I think, yeah, that's it. So I might want to mention there are some like other cards you could run in this deck. I really wish I had room for the level 0 Cube that gives Clock Encore to the center, because it's really good in combination with the 1-0 Saikas when they're like 1065s too, and you just like Clock Encore it or whatever. Same thing with some other cards too. It's just another great way to plus hand, but because of how the set as a whole has trouble discarding cards, I just like the Saika looking up to mommy a lot better. But yeah, thanks for checking out this deck. Hopefully I get some other more interesting deck profiles up. But yeah, if you're looking for a standard Madoka deck that's just gonna wreck a lot of tournaments and do well, this deck list is pretty fine. Oh, another thing, a big point of the deck too, since it can't deal with the power creep that well, you basically want to play Climax every turn if you can, with your 1/0s out there and side attack if need be. But generally it's like play your bonders, play the 1/0 and drop a Climax as often as you can for the most part, especially since there is no way to get rid of Climaxes from your hand in this set like consistently well. You just want to do that so you can get the Climaxes back into your deck a lot faster. Besides that, yeah, just a really standard deck, great deck to learn actually Weiss with overall. I think it's a great deck to learn and like make you a better player overall, because it teaches you a lot about how important hand size and everything is, and how power isn't normally like super important in this game. But yeah, that's about it. Hopefully in the future I'll have some other deck profiles, like I said earlier, more interesting deck profiles, but I figured I'd just put one up this week. I'll probably maybe do another one a little bit later this week and upload it. If you guys have any suggestions for deck profiles, just comment below something. If you guys want to see Love Live or something like that, just let me know, and I'll try to get the deck together, or if I already have it, I'll post it up as soon as possible. And then if you have any other suggestions, just let me know in the comments. But besides that, thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day.